What's up, everybody? We have a great show in store today on this beautiful quarantine day of 928. The date is May 21st. The time is 3:06. As you can tell, our head geek can't tell time, and that's why we're always late. Without further ado, the man that called me fat this morning, Mike.
I didn't call you.
You called me fat. You hurt my feelings.
We have a special guest in the green room. Even besides our guest, Chris.
So we have a regular guest.
There's like a real special guest in the green room on site. Let's bring Christina in, and then I could show you who the special guest for you is. I wonder if it's folder wrap.
If it's folder wrap, I'll leave.
It's not folder wrap.
I know.
I do have a story for you for folder wrap.
Where are they?
I love how they have no audio.
There's no sound.
I love it. Thanks for the looking, guys.
Guys, why bother?
This is my guest. That's Anthony Wilkinson.
It's Anthony Wilkinson, and I don't know why he would be doing work with the Gotham guys. They don't have any audio. Look at this. Oh, it's a shame. What? Hi, how are you?
How about now? You hear us now?
Yeah, now we hear you.
Now we hear you.
Daddy.
So this is my surprise?
Yeah.
Apparently, that's your surprise. They showed up. I brought them up for you.
I thought it was a good surprise. Wilkinson's a good surprise. Grazuso. Bad enough I got to see Grazuso 2 nights a week at Gotham. Now I got to see him on Midday?
Hello, everyone. Moss, how are you? I don't think Moss can hear us. Oh, no.
I can hear you.
Moss, we can't hear Moss.
You can't hear me?
Okay. Now you're.
What is going on? We can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, but I can't hear Moss. No, Moss is just signing to pretend like.
Oh, but you can't hear Moss.
Oh no! Yeah, correct. I think he was just.
Mike, you can't hear me?
I don't know what he's saying. He's speaking, but we
can't hear you. I guess.
Mike, I just want you to know.
This is great.
You are probably one.
That happens with this stupid platform. Half the time you bring some people and they don't hear you on the website.
I think we should pull out the Gotham boys and bring on our guest. But
let's bring on Chris.
So what's amazing about our show? We have so many people that have reached out to be guests on Bloomy, Breakfast with Bloomy, Midday with Moss, Gotham After Dark. And the next guest today, is a legend on Staten Island. I know Gotham and Todd uses that word legend, but
Mom, my food's outside. Just leave it on the
side. I need the meatloaf.
Oh God, Chris is probably in the waiting room right now. What's going on here?
Mom, my food's outside.
Oh, you heard it? This fucking guy's here, but she's walking around outside. I don't want her to be like, no, we didn't order anything, and the guy walks away. Like, she would do that.
I was about to introduce our guest.
Sorry.
So you good? You got the meatloaf?
Hopefully it's on its way. I don't know. I didn't get meatloaf.
So our guest today is a man on Staten Island that is probably another person that, when you think of philanthropy, his name is one of the first people you think of always in there, always in his pocket, heavily involved with the Scouts. I had the pleasure and honor of meeting him a few years ago when I started to really get involved in networking. And the man's always there. He's always there. He's always out. And he always has your back. And the cool thing about him is that my aunt knew him before me. That might be something
really
that's never happened.
Maria?
My Aunt Maria knew him before me. Without further ado, Chris Williams.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Yeah, Aunt Maria worked with my mother for years.
So it's funny because I think one day she saw me and you together in a photo, and she goes, "How do you know my friend Chris?" I said, "How the you know Chris?"
And she came in the store and said the same thing to me, basically. How do you know Moss?
Small world.
Oh, it's a small world on Staten Island.
For sure.
Small world, period.
So what's going on, Chris? Tell us a little bit what's going on. Christina's going to go have lunch. It's almost dinner time.
Mike's babysitting. I guess it's not babysitting if it's your kid, right? That doesn't count as babysitting.
That's not babysitting. Right?
That's being a parent.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Unless we're talking like 1950, you know.
Yeah. Well, I love having her here, but she always manages to come during the midday show when Moss would probably prefer she's not here in the background. And she keeps yelling at me. That's why I keep mute. She's like, have them say hi to me. Have them say hi to me. I'm like,
everyone has this thing, Chris, that I hate kids.
Because you do.
I don't hate kids, guys. I just think they should be tied up and left in their rooms all day till they turn 25. No, I'm joking.
Seen and not heard.
No, hold on a second. Chris, before we have our formal interview, I personally feel, and I've been very, very open about this, that I don't think it's professional if you're having a meeting. I mean, this is a show. We're just having fun. But I find that sometimes I video conference with clients, and you know, you're trying to provide a service, and ultimately,
I'll use that as a segue right into our thing. You know, I've been talking about that quite a bit with my staff. That, you know, pandemic or not, there's no reason to change our principles or how we present ourselves to the public or how we do anything. You know, Mike just used our iCare Live thing. iCare Live is a platform where I could do some basic exams and some triaging remotely. And I thought they put it very well when I signed up for that service. You know, I can make it so that you have to put your credit card in to just use it at all. But what they recommended was I should think of it as someone walking in the store that can't walk in the store. And I should only charge you for the things I would have charged you for if you walked in the store yesterday. You know, don't just think of it as a platform. Just think of it as a way to be face-to-face communications with your customers the same as you would have. And if you would have charged them if they walked in the store and asked you that, charge them. And if you want to charge them if they walked in the store, don't charge them. You know, so I think what you're saying about the meetings is right. You know, as we go forward, we all have to think about our image is going to be harder to uphold. It's going to be harder to you're going to have less opportunity to make an impression. You know, so you better make the most of it as you do, especially people that are in very networking heavy kind of industry. I think of my insurance salesmen, my lawyers. You know, when do I decide to do business with an insurance salesperson or a lawyer or anything else? Only after I had the opportunity to meet him 10, 15 times and I build some kind of confidence in him. Do I pick up that phone and call him when I have a problem? You know, so without the opportunity to meet at the EDC meeting, to have breakfast here, to this, that, the other thing, I think a lot of professions are going to have a hard time generating referrals the way they did, and they better be very mindful of how they present themselves in every platform that they do it in. Because
I just
absolutely,
I just don't think it's appropriate to, you know, to have a meeting and where you're trying to. You're the worst. I just feel that if you're consulting with me for my services and you're turning around and wanting me to give you my undivided attention, you know, I don't think my daughter or my son should be on my lap or vice versa.
Oh, I agree.
100%.
I can't say that. Already, you know, I'm only seeing people by appointment for emergencies. So you call, you know, I'm here every day, 10 to 2. I answer the phone. You tell me whatever your dilemma is. I say, okay, 10:30. 10:30 comes. You're at the front door. I open the front door to help you, and you're on your cell phone. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? I feel like turning around, closing the door, and locking it again. Call back, make another appointment. You know,
so rude.
Right.
Well, Chris,
it's like your time is less valuable than their time.
Oh,
all the
exactly.
time in the world, you know.
Chris, so tell me a little bit. You are what is the difference? Because I think I was having a sty, and I said, Chris, I got to come see you. He said, no, you got to see a ophthalmologist. What?
Ophthalmologist.
And you are
I'm an optician. I'm the pharmacist. I make the glasses. You have the 3 O's. You have an optician, makes the glasses. Optometrist is a doctor who prescribes eyeglasses and contact lenses and can prescribe medicines for pink eyes and such. Then you have the ophthalmologist, who's an MD. He does your cataract surgery. You know, he covers all of us, really. you know, but for the most part, you want an optometrist to do your eyeglasses and contact lenses, because an optometrist is like a chiropractor or a dentist. They went to college, then they went to 4 years of optometry school where all they studied was your eyes. Then you have your ophthalmologist. Your ophthalmologist is an MD, went to 4 years of medical school, and then specialized in your eyes as a medical doctor. An optometrist is an optical specialist for your eyes only, really. You know, so
interesting.
Most cases, you're better off with an optometrist first, and then if you need an ophthalmologist, you go to an ophthalmologist. You know, it used to be that optometrist wasn't so many primary care, but due to changes of insurances, you know, insurance companies like optometrists because optometrists work cheaper than ophthalmologists. So more and more over the years, optometrists have become primary care. And a matter of fact, in 8 out of 10 cases, when you go to an ophthalmologist's office, you don't see an ophthalmologist anymore. You see an optometrist. And when his optometrist deems it beyond their scope of practice, then they bring the top guy in.
So, Chris, so you're pretty well versed in the medical, you know, community. Yep. So why does Mike go see a proctologist once a week?
You know that might be an issue for discuss with his wife. I don't know.
Okay,
that's a Gotham Trinity.
Right. Chris, it was wide open. We have anytime his mic is muted because he thinks I hate his children. Okay? So we can make fun of him and he can't even respond.
Yeah, he might not even know.
But all you hear is William I. Works is the best. You hear it time and time again. And Chris, let's be honest. You are, you know, I don't want to disclose, but, you know, you can, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
53.
53 years old. You got about 15, 16 years on me. And you are out at every single event. Every EDC event, every Bucks event, every executive club event, every fundraising event. There's not an event that goes by that you don't see Chris Williams on. It just shows a testament to your brand that you, I think, or me being a little bit younger, I probably follow the same beliefs as you, is that this community made your store and your brand and your family who you are today. So
100%, 100%. You know, this community is my brand. You know, I'm greatly disappointed in most of my competition. I can't believe how they abandoned their patients during this. You know, so it's one thing not to be able to help you, you know, for legal reasons. It's another thing not even to answer the phone and give you counsel or give you some advice. And I've been calling it most of my competitions on a regular basis, see who's answering their phone and such, and just gone, just missing from the marketplace completely. You know, from a business standpoint, that is such a bad mistake. But as a community member, you know, basically what I told my staff here was this neighborhood's been very, very good to us for the last 25 years. And we're going to be there. You know, we've been here for the last 25 years. They've been here for us. We're not going to not answer their issues, you know.
I just don't understand. I mean, as a business owner, I've been asked since March 13th to sit on my hands.
Yep.
I've seen a 7-figure business come to a complete halt.
I know the feeling.
I've put my entire staff out on furlough.
Yep.
And all I want to do is go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to say this, but if you're a business and you can open and you're choosing not to open, shame on you. Because there's a lot of people like me that all I want to do is just go back to work.
Well, it's very ambiguous. The only reason I can really be open at all is because I have a doctor on staff. Because the doctor could choose to see anyone he deems an emergency. So basically, I'm triaging for the doctor. You know?
But Chris, you could have turned around, shut your door.
I can't believe my competition did that 100%. I'm shocked at them.
I talk again, and I don't know if you've been following the store, but I am the most underpaid, overqualified, oh my God, stock boy. This planet. I've been helping out my friends at the Montalbano's pork store.
Okay, good.
And people said, you know, well, why are you there? You know, how much are they paying you? And I said, I'm not getting paid. I'm helping my friends out because that store being open services 100 customers in our little neighborhood of Rossville. Mm-hmm. If they close, and Miggy's close,
Mhm.
and Hartman Bagels close, and Family Fruit closes.
Buyer's Market. Buyer's Market.
Well, this is the South Shore Staten
Yeah,
Island.
no, Buyer's Market's been a godsend to my neighborhood.
But Chris, if Buyer's closed, that puts
Oh.
more pressure on other stores.
Absolutely.
If everyone does their part, and like I saw people coming in buying.
You might think this is crazy. I'm contemplating closing when everyone else opens.
No, that's not crazy.
You know, because it's been particularly stressful helping people. And once I'm confident, I've closed the last 2 weeks of July for years, and I'm definitely going to do that this year. But I might do that the whole month of July. Once I'm confident my competition's open and people have some place to go to get the services they need, I might just say, gone fishing, come back in August.
And Chris, there's nothing wrong with that, because, you know, I was there, and there were days they were like, that's it, we're done, we're closing the door, we're done. I said, guys, take a deep breath. We're going to get through this. We're going to figure this out.
Right.
I said, you need to keep your doors open. You are a lifeline to the community.
Right.
Okay? Everybody has their role. The gas station on the corner that sells cigarettes has his role. The guy down the block that does, you know.
And commerce has to go on. You know, we have to do it safely. We have to do a lot of things. But the idea that you could put a cork on commerce is ridiculous. You know, it's unrealistic in every shape and form.
I agree.
You know,
I agree more. Sorry, someone's just knocking at my door. But I've been here every day, doing the best I can. Just, you know, just trying to help.
Yeah. You know, I'm pushing the idea of outside. I'm doing about five to 7 DMV exams a day. I put the eye chart in the front window. I stand out on the sidewalk with you, fill out your motor vehicle form for you. Outside the store, people love it. The whole neighborhood's coming and renewing their driver's license. I don't even think they need to renew yet, but it's something to do. They come talk to me for 10 minutes and give them an eye chart test.
Is it true that Mike Bloomfield can't figure out what the big letter is on the top?
No, he did very well on the test. He saw exceptional.
He definitely cheated.
He did.
Does it change every year?
Yeah, you know, yes, particularly by age. If you're under 20 for sure, and if you're over 45 for sure.
Is it always E on the top?
What's this?
Is it always E on the top?
It's always E on the top.
So how can we give a test to everybody for the whole world that it always stays the same? Think about that.
But that big E, and I do have the digital one. The digital one will change it at random. If you think people are cheating, that's what you do. Just hit the button and it changes the letters. But the big E is 2200. If that's all you can read, it really doesn't matter.
Well, it's funny. The rumor has it is Mike Bloomfield thought it was an M for an M&M. Yeah. Were you watching our show this morning, Chris?
I wasn't. You know, I've been here every day about 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, I answer the phone from 10 to 2. I get here about 8 o'clock in the morning and either think about, you know, when I first opened, I used to come open. When I first opened, you had few customers. And my wife quite often would say, oh, you could do this or do that. I say, no, I got to go sit at that desk and think about how the hell we're going to make a living. So that's pretty much, I get here about 8 o'clock in the morning and waste 2 hours, you might want to call it. Some people might call it that. And think about how the hell am I going to make a living going forward. Then from 10 to 2, I answer the phone and make arrangements to see people. Then from 2 to 6, 7 o'clock, I see those people. And then about 7 o'clock, and you know, my family is getting a little fed up with me because then I come home at 7 o'clock at night and say, hey, I want to do this, that, the whole thing, and I want it done before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, Mike kind of hurt my feelings this morning. Now, Chris, we probably know each other about 10 years now.
Oh, Leash, yeah, about that.
So, you know, I used to be really big.
Yeah, I remember.
So Mike called me fat this morning.
Oh, my.
I mean, you know, when I was 350 pounds,
but in his defense, are you going up since Corona?
No, I am not. I actually joined to run the marathon. I clocked in at 226, and I was 227 this morning. I mean, okay. So I actually dropped down to 219. a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I've been at like 2.25 for the last couple of years. So he called me fat. I really hurt my feelings.
I would see why.
I mean, I'm still half the man I used to be.
No, you weren't that big, were you?
I was 340.
Wow. Well,
Vinny Bonomi wants to know, Chris, if you heard that I am running the marathon this year for Michael's cause.
I did not hear that.
So everybody, I don't know if you're a betting man, and I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, isn't Staten Island Hospital doing one this weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah, Staten Island Hospital. It's a fundraiser. They're asking everyone to register for $10, and then you do it's a 5K. You for your $10, you scan your app, and then it keeps track of how long it took you to walk your 5K, and it's keeping track of it when you can walk it or run it or anything. That's it's for the Staten Island Hospital, Rumsey, and first responders.
I didn't know that. Could we get Mike Bloomfield? I know you're in the background over there playing Daddy Daycare. Can you get the link and put it on there for us? This is a great show. I don't get to see him.
I just got Audrina's upstairs now. So what do you need? A link to what?
There's this great charity run. Now that I'm a big Olympic runner, a marathon runner, there's a big run this weekend. We should be in it. We should be doing it. So, Chris,
I know if you go to Nobody Cares Sports on Facebook, they have information about it on their website.
Nobody
Cares Sports. They'll get a talk. They're on 9:00, I think, tonight. They'll be talking about it.
So, with all this going on, Rob Caplongo from Michael's Cause, who I'm sure you know who Rob is. He came on the show Tuesday, and he was talking about the marathon. So we're talking about the marathon. People are like, oh, Moss can't run the marathon. I'll pledge $500. I'll pledge $100 a mile for every mile he runs. I'll pledge $1,000. $7,700 later, okay, Chris Williams, I have trained every single day since Tuesday.
Now, they must need a live DJ for that.
Well, the chances are I'm probably going to die before I get to the finish line. But as long as all the money is collected, I'm okay with taking one.
Well, we all get to that point, don't we?
So Vinny Bonomi goes 500 if I start, 500 if I finish. If I got to crawl on my hands and knees to take $1,000 from Vinny Bonomi, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to take some of that money because he's got it to burn out of his pocket.
Well, and I don't think there's any time limit on these things, right? These are open marathons they're doing now, so
they're open. And then some people had the audacity. If everyone could just share our page, the audacity to go, oh, he's only doing it because there's not even going to be a marathon this year. Guess what? From the conference house, Highland Boulevard to Denoy is 13.1 mile.
Okay.
Back is 26.2. And if I got to throw my own marathon on Marathon Sunday on Staten Island, I'm going to do it with a huge event at the conference house when it's over. So I figured out this 18-minute mile. Mike Razzuso couldn't figure this out, by the way. 18 minutes times 26.2 is 471 minutes divided by 60 is just about 8 hours. Okay. So I start at about 9 a.m. At 5 o'clock, we'll be done. That's no breaks.
I would like to join you in that, Moss. But I propose we take 12 hours and at least every third set of 18 minutes, we stop for a little break and, eat something, have a drink. And if it takes us 12, 14 hours, that's okay. We'll start at 8 a.m. We'll be done about 8 p.m. and have a party.
Well, if you're going to do it on Highland Boulevard, I'll even like to be with you. I'll just drive.
Well, you could drive. Chris,
you'll be the rescue car.
I'll be the pace car. I'll just you guys can run behind me.
You hand the beer out the window and whatnot.
So all I'm going to say is this, Chris. Since March 13th, Mike Bloomey hasn't left the house. I do.
Okay.
Mike Bloomey's scared of his own shadow. I'm not. You know what the difference is? I've been following a slogan for 3 months now.
Go ahead. What's this?
A Macallan a day keeps the corona away.
Now that's a whole bottle.
No, I just have just a finger. Just a finger.
I don't know. That's enough. You might need more than just a little bit. You know, it might be like a bottle a day.
Wow.
You know?
You know what it is? If it cleanses the inside.
It's funny, you know, I have a, you know, my wife's a nurse at the hospital.
Okay.
So she wanted to quarantine to the basement. I'm somewhat a healthcare professional. I have
somewhat of a healthcare.
I have little fear of the virus. You know, I have no problem taking care of somebody with the virus. If someone was sick and needed my services, I would never deny them the services. You know, what I have to do is take proper precautions, wear my mask, wash my hands, clean things in between. You know, doctors have been taking care of sick people for forever, you know, and they don't get sick. You know, that's really, you know, no matter what we're doing, if you go forward with proper precautions, like what we're doing in my house, I made my dining room table like Thanksgiving. It's 6 feet long, more. It's 8 feet long. So she sits at one end, I sit on the other end. You know, we practice social distance in the house. You know, and we don't sleep in the same bed because when you're sleeping, you can't control if you cough or sneeze or this or that. You know, so you know we could cohabitate plenty. We just can't physically sleep together. You know, so I sleep down in the basement for the last 18 weeks. I'm starting to love my apartment. You know, when other people come down there, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing in my apartment?
Well, it's funny. I told my wife she should self-quarantine in the attic.
Right.
But she didn't listen.
She didn't listen to you. You know, she's not a nurse or anything. Do you have any valid reason to get her to do that?
I thought it would be good for our marriage if she stayed on one side of the house and I stayed on the other. I told her absence makes the heart grow fonder.
So all you have to do is get a little bit more of a paranoia attitude about it, and then send her to Pathmark. As soon as she comes back, you tell her, "Hon, that's it, 14 days."
Listen, I mean, she's a saint. She deals with me. I mean, I am kind of a big deal. I mean, I'm kind of a blessing to any woman that would, you know, I would allow to come into. Christina's trying not to throw up. She's not even paying attention to me.
Anyone that thinks men are the strongest sex just aren't paying attention. You know, I have a whole theory about, you know, they say men are perverts. If men are the perverts, then why do they put up with us?
Good. You know, listen, gets it. Gets it.
So, Mas, do you know that Chris has helped me so I didn't have to leave my house?
I told him he confirmed the theory. He told us the difference about all the different being doctor, optometrist, ophthalmologist, right, so on and so forth. But Chris still doesn't understand why you go and see a proctologist once a week.
I don't have to do that. I have a bidet. So, but moving on, the Eye Care Live app that Chris was talking about, I know early before I jumped off, and talking about reinventing yourself. Like huge. Like I was able to do a contact renewal, eye exam, see the doctor all through telemedicine, and talk about using technology to stride forward and move and make things easier. Right now, you don't have to go to a doctor's office.
Well, and that's been very exciting for me because that was AccuView contact lens. My AccuView rep is the people who told me about that application. And now I'm developing a really good relationship with that company. They're a small company out in California. They're only 3 people big. They've been working on that app for about 5 years, but telemedicine was optometry was largely excluded from telemedicine. So with coronavirus, a lot of laws were changed to give them a lot of leeway to make it into the place. Where I'm forging a great relationship with them is I'm using it from the optical standpoint more than the doctor standpoint. We're using it to triage broken glasses because if you can hold up your phone well, you can show me everything. I'll order the parts and everything I need. So when you come up, you pull up at the front door, I need 10 minutes, boop, fix it, done. You know, right. We're using it to triage quite a bit, keeping people out of the store.
Right. Well, and I was able to get my contacts renewed, and they arrived to my house today.
Did you go take the eye test?
They do it right on the. So basically, the way you take the eye test.
Whoa. That wasn't the question. Did you go take the eye test? Yes or no? We don't need a whole explanation.
Yes, I took there was an eye test I had to take.
What was the letter on the top?
There is no letter. It says C, and it spins around.
Right.
Well, I think you should go by Chris's store because we're going to change the letters on you because I know you. I don't trust you. You probably know.
No. I'm so crazy because it told you to be 10 feet apart. I got my tape measure and measured 8 feet from my monitor to where I was supposed to stand.
Now, do you have an iPhone or an Android?
I have an Android.
Yeah, I'm an Android person, but that app works much better with an iPhone. An iPhone, when you walk away from your screen, it will beep when you're 10 feet away. It won't do that on the Android.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Yeah, so I originally was like standing, and I was like, you know what? Let me do this right. Let me see if it's right. So I went and got the tape measure, and I was standing probably 1.5 feet closer originally than I should have been. So good thing I grabbed it. It was cool, and then it told me I had 20/20, which is pretty much what I knew with my contacts, because being 37 years old, wearing contacts now for 20 years, probably just over 20 years. You know when you're prescription, like when you're struggling.
And you took a beautiful picture. You held that camera up well. I could see your lens very good. If people could use their phone properly, that application really comes down to, if you want to fool me, you have 9,000 opportunities to lie about how far away you stood, lie on a questionnaire, et cetera. But with the assumption that you want good care and you participate correctly, it gives me a lot of ability.
Right. What good is it lying if you're lying on your vision and you don't have the right prescription?
Right. If you want to lie to me, I'll give you a bad prescription.
Right. You don't care if I see 20/20. Right? You're not seeing out of my eyes. It makes sense to me.
Right. If you want to stand 5 feet away and I make you see it for that, well, then don't be surprised when you're driving at night, not so happy.
Right. Exactly. And and then the only thing I'll tell you is, and I think it was more my understanding, is originally when I was started to take pictures, like when I think I spoke to your son, he's like, okay, you open the app and you got to take a picture of your eye in the mirror.
Right.
So originally I was trying to take the picture of my eye in the mirror.
Oh, okay.
And it was coming out terrible. And I'm like, why do they want the picture like this? And I'm like, oh, maybe they would tell me to use the mirror so I could see the reflection and take it. And then
it's important you use the back camera, not the selfie camera.
Right.
The camera doesn't give me nearly as much detail. If you use the back camera, that's why you're looking in the mirror. Then I could zoom that picture in and get incredible detail.
Right. And then I think on one eye I took like 3 pictures to get the one that I was like, all right, that's a good one. Because if it wasn't good for you, like you're just going to tell me to retake the picture, right? If I send you a blurry picture, you're going to write back and be like, yeah, we can't see anything. Can you send us another picture?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. I see that as such a valuable tool to even just give people confidence whether they need to come out or not. Yeah, there you go.
My eye. Oh, there's my other eye.
Because a lot of people are, you have such varying opinions out there. Some people are not afraid at all. They don't even want to wear a mask. You have other people that want to wipe down their packages from Amazon and store things for 24 hours. And I don't think there's anything wrong with any of it. What I think is we all have to be libertarians, meaning the amount of disinformation or bad information or conflicting information that we got has left us all with the ability. It's kind of like doing my taxes to me. If I go to 5 accountants, I get 5 different answers. So pretty much when I deal with my accountants these days, I tell them I want the interpretation that's most liberal to me that I can't go to jail for, because apparently it's open to opinion. I feel the same thing about the corona.
It's like anything. It's how much are you willing for risk?
Well, right. So what do I mean by being a libertarian? I'm not going to judge you by what you choose to do for you and your family. I'm not going to judge you by what you choose to do for you and your family. What I have to do is teach my staff a safe protocol so that they can go home at the end of the day not feeling like they're contaminating their family or risking their family. And then the only way we judge our neighbors or customers is by their risk factor. Meaning if they're displaying too much risky behavior for us, we'll be of less service to them. You have to stand out in the yard while I help you. You can't come in the store. Stuff like that. But these personal decisions that we're all going to make and deal with are so varied. One of the things that I fret about the most is when we do reopen, that it's not going to be done with enough guidelines. And I don't even care what the guidelines are, but there's going to be no comprehensive guidelines to stand by, which means it's going to be difficult to deal with customers because every third person is going to have a different guideline they think should be being followed. Where I would
Right.
much rather be able to point to something on the wall and say, no, these are the guidelines. We're all following these. As long as that's ambiguous, it's going to leave lots of room for misinterpretation, arguments, etc. And that's can you imagine if they let us all open, we all start rocking and rolling. Okay, it's mid-August, September, and everything's going pretty good. But then the uptick starts happening again, and they try to shut us down again. Oh, my. The total pandemonium would happen at that point.
A second shutdown would be worse than the first shutdown.
Oh, and people would not be compliant. You'd have total chaos. So I definitely would like to see them be more aggressive in the time frame, but
right. But
much
unfortunately,
more aggressive with the protocol that needs to be followed at the same time. Because we need some common ideology that we could all share so we could do it.
right. And I agree. But this goes back to not everyone agrees, right? There's different opinions.
We don't have to agree.
Right.
We have to agree
I agree with you on it because
we have to agree on minimal standards.
Yeah.
Just the minimum, nothing wild. You want to get too aggressive, you're going to get a lot of people that push back. But hand sanitizer and a face mask to go into a store. Nothing too aggressive. But just and really, like I said, it really doesn't even matter what it is. Like downstairs, when I help people, I get less and less concerned with whether you wear a mask. I want everyone to wash their hands before they touch stuff, and I want everyone to wear a mask. But I got some good N95s now, so as long as I'm wearing an N95, if you don't wear a mask, it really doesn't matter that much to me.
Right.
Yeah, I got the breath partitions between everything. So if you want to be more risky, really what that does is I have to make you wait outside till there's no one else around. Because if there's other people in the store, your risk factor can't compromise them.
Right, and you don't want to. Right, you don't want to have anyone come to your store and get sick.
Right, I want to come get sick, and I don't want my employees to get sick. I definitely do not want to be the boss that rushes back and have my employees get sick. That PPP. Oh my! Is that thing a disaster or what?
Before we jump into that, Chris, do you have a question? Dave Consiglio, one of my former employees that Mike stole, has 2 pairs of sunglasses. I want to get polarized to the lenses. Have to be replaced, or they can use the current ones.
No, you have to replace them. Polarized is a laminated lens. Of course, like $70 a pair to change them to polarized. New lenses, polarized.
Mike, sign-on bonus, $140. What's the? Employees STK dinner.
Yeah, those are only my longtime employees.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chris, think about this. Think about how much money there is in this IT business.
Oh, my.
That he sends STK dinner once a week to all his employees, gold Rolexes from Jerry Amorosi once a month, black car. Listen, he's got a driver just on call to pick up anything. If Christina says, Starbucks now, Jimmy goes.
She goes gets.
I wish it was like that.
I'm sitting here.
I'd save a lot of money in Uber.
He's been quarantined for a few weeks, drinking a lot of scotch, so.
This is all I can afford. 1 Snapple a day. I take a swig for breakfast, a swig for lunch.
Snapple? I'm using mixed iced tea only at this point. I'm going to start saving my tea bags.
Hey, the Lipton's powdered iced tea is great.
So to be fair, I sent my employees STK one day because my employees are what made us be able to be possible and continue supporting our clients through this. And without them and their hard work, we wouldn't still be here. So I have an opportunity to buy them something.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And we are very appreciative
of all. This is a hard. I have 2 employees. I pay more than I pay myself. I have a doctor right there. But your employees are your lifeline. My accountant always yells at me, tells me my payroll is out of whack compared to my industry. I always tell him, yeah, Carl, but how many other small business owners go away for the whole month of July every year? So am I what am I paying for? I'm paying for freedom. You know,
Yeah.
you pay for what you get. You know, you treat people good and they treat you good, and I don't have to micromanage people in return for it. You know, because I went down that road 20 years ago. You try to hire all low end help, and what you're pulling your hair out of your head. Every third thing you have to redo anyway. You know, pay good help and be proud of them.
Good help.
100%. You're.
Oh, Mas, I was like, what the fuck are you pointing at me for?
Good help.
Oh, Lana's with me. Lana's been with me, what, 12 years now? I go away for a month. I come back. She has a stack of things she has to talk to me about. And then first, you know, I used to be like, oh, my mind, this is going to give me a headache. No, you know, we do everything in trays. And we have these trays. Everyone's job is in a tray. And she'll go down tray by tray. Mr. X, this, that, the other thing. I did that. And tell her, well, it's not exactly what I would have did, but good. You know, what's the most important thing, what she always does for me, is she does something. She makes a decision. She gives him a refund, remakes the glasses, whatever she decided to do. But she made a decision. She did it. And whether I would have did a little bit different or not really doesn't matter. You know, we can have a discussion about that later, so maybe she'll do it different. But she took care of my customer and made a decision and went forward. And, you know, how little can I pay a girl like that? You know, she's a licensed professional who will deal with whatever she has to deal with. You know, I could save $10 an hour if I want, you know.
But you'd get that in quality. So, yeah, you pay for what you get.
Right. Then I'll come back from vacation, and that stack of jobs will be 20 people I have to call and do something with who are already unhappy because it took a month for them to get a return phone call to get a resolution. So it doesn't even matter what I did after 2 weeks, you know.
Yeah.
We all know, you know, if you walk in my store right now and whatever happens, even if I make a decision you're not happy with, you're gonna walk out, you're gonna be unhappy for about 2 hours, then you're gonna get over it. If I tell you, I'll review it and call you later, don't call you for 2 weeks, you're saying that motherfucker, I'm never going to that guy's store again. He doesn't call me back or anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Understood.
You know?
So
You
how
know, the quality of help is so important, you know. And look what we just learned from this tragedy. You know, Rotary has a saying that there's no unworthy profession. Well, all those clerks and stuff that we thought were not glorified jobs, well, they're glorified this week. We really got to remember that.
The other day.
Well, there's no unworthy profession. There's
Absolutely.
nothing. Anything we pay people to do, we only pay them to do it for a reason, because the service is important to us. You know,
We were saying that the other day, like these people standing in CVS so I could go get my Reese's Pieces at 2:00 in the afternoon. Our first responders and frontliners, in my opinion, they are out there just like the policemen and the firemen are. Yes, the job is different, but they're still out there. You know,
my 2 nephews work at Shop right here on Forest Avenue.
Miserable. It's got to stop right now. You
I
know?
worry about them more than my wife at the hospital. You know, my wife.
Well, we were just watching a video right before we came on of 2 people fighting, and where was that? Stop and Shop.
Stop it, Shop.
Oh, like a social distance screaming match over a mask, because was it about a mask, Moss? Somebody wasn't wearing a mask.
We really couldn't tell, but somebody wasn't wearing a mask because someone was close to someone else. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. People's patients are getting fed up. You know, they get, you know, and I'm sure you guys all know, you know, I'm not saying no secrets here. We've all had better days over the last 7 weeks, and we've all had worse days. You know, some days we're much more optimistic, some days we're much more pessimistic. But some days, if I go to Pathmark, it might not take a whole lot for me to lose my cool, because that day I was already on eggshells from the minute I woke up. Whether I was stressing about how the hell I'm going to pay the bills the next 6 months, or I'm stressing about my daughter living alone in Memphis, Tennessee, or 1 in 9,000 other reasons. And it's very hard to keep that in mind at all times. But every third person we come in contact with has hit their limit that day already. You know, because you know, I don't know who I feel worse for: the guys going broke, or the guys trying to do their job from home with their wife and 4 children running around with them. And you know, everyone's under such tremendous stress. You know, which poison's worse, my poison or your poison? You know.
Right.
You know?
I would look. I'm the one home working from home with my kids and my wife, and I would say I feel worse for the people who have no income, because at least I have that aspect. Now, it's not to say that I haven't taken a hit. The business is taking a huge hit because a big part of our business is installations and projects, and that's down. But the stress level, like for someone trying to figure it out because their industry is stopped.
All these guys and girls trying to work with technology that they have no idea of how to do. So now you're a school teacher that didn't even know how to turn your computer on 3 weeks ago.
And now here you are teaching.
And now you're dealing with all this, the stress level. Woo. I got neighbors that are school teachers, and their income might be secure, but I'm not too jealous of them,
Right.
Because, that's why it's so important that we get back to some normalcy, meaning we have to have some kind of protocol. And I know Steve Matteo, he's the politician I've talked to the most through this. I know he's working hard to go forward. Joe Borelli, I saw a few times since this all began. Everyone's putting their effort forward, trying to figure out a way to do it. And I really think, it's people like us that have a big role in society to put forth that protocol that we could all make a living again, and common ideology is the path forward, and it really doesn't even matter what that ideology is, but we have to have a comprehensive message that, yes, I can provide my services safely. You can come get your services. You can take care of your mother. You can take care of your kids. And we're going to do it like this. And then everyone can go back to some level of normalcy. Unfortunately, people like Moss are in a harder predicament. I think about Moss, and I think about Frankie Wilkinson with the bowling alley. Those are harder than even restaurants. But
right. A restaurant has some income stream. Of Moss, Frank, they have nothing. Their income stream.
And that's why we hear that there's businesses that could open that are choosing not to. Like, I own several businesses. I'm very, very well. We've invested in several businesses over the years, and the ones that were allowed to be open, we 150%. We're like, all right, let's put a little more attention to this. Maybe we can try to help, grab a couple of shekels from here and grab a couple of shekels from there.
Well, if anyone can figure out how to do parties in the new world, it's going to be you.
Well, I don't think we should do new parties in the new world, honestly.
Let me rephrase that. How people are going to celebrate and entertain for celebrations. Entertainment's going to be part of our lives no matter what. We all crave it and need it and want it. It makes occasions special, So what services can you offer me to have my graduation party for my daughter? Because whether it's Corona or not, she's still graduating medical school this year. So they're all going to be things I'm going to want to do to enhance that celebration. Besides sit around my table 6 feet apart from each other.
Well, I think there's some options. We've come up with some outdoor options to do some cool stuff, but the virtual event sucks. I don't care. You can sit here till we're blue in the face. A party is
but what about like playing cards? A simple service like playing rummy with people, where you have one deck in the center on a pad and everyone uses their phone.
Stuff like that.
I can download that app, very simple, and I can figure that out for my family. There's hundreds and hundreds of people that just being able to play a game with their family on Christmas would pay for the service.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you. But, like it's anything else. It's changing with the times, being innovative.
Changing with the times.
And just doing the right
thing.
Reinventing.
But very important. Are we giving Chris Williams HIPAA disclosure, Mike? Is he allowed to speak about your eyes?
That's fine. You can talk about my eyes.
How blind is Mike Bloomfield?
Oh, I'm blind.
He's pretty blind. He's nearsighted. If my memory is correct, he's a -5 in both eyes, which means he sees about 4 inches, 5 inches from his face without his glasses. Right here, it's like me and you having a magnifying glass. Across the room, If it's Moss or Christine, he's not sure.
Damn.
I can't. So if I take my contacts out, Moss, I can't see the big E on the top of the chart.
Right. Right
Wow,
here.
I didn't know your eyes were that bad. Shit.
About 5 inches, he sees really, really good. After that, it just gets blurrier and blurrier.
Right. If I have so when I go to bed, the worst part is, and that's why I wish that wear contacts was safe to wear all the time, because the worst part of the night is like when I have to go to bed and I take my contacts out and put glasses on, and you're laying in bed and trying to watch TV, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and you hear something, like the first thing I got to do is fumble for my glasses. Now, you know what the worst part is? When you knock your glasses off the table onto the floor, and now I'm on my hands and knees because I can't see where they are, and you got to make sure you don't step on them. Because
I thought they made contacts you could sleep in.
What?
Don't they make contacts you could sleep in?
You can, but we do not recommend it. You know,
Really?
a contact lens is covering your eye with plastic, particularly right now. There's nothing wrong with wearing contact lenses, and your eye is a good protection from corona unless it's compromised. There's only the main reason people's eye would be compromised is from overwearing the contact lenses. An eyeglass prescription, I could refill your eyeglasses every year. You could come in and say, no, I don't want an exam. I could say, Mike, you're crazy. You haven't had an exam in 4 years. Let me examine your eyes before you invest this money. No, I like the way I see. But Mike, you can have disease. You can have this and that. I don't care. Just fill it. I want it the same as I had it. It's totally legal for me to do that. Contact lenses, you have to be seen once a year. Once a year, because that contact lens is sitting on your eye, rubbing. The top 7 layers of your cornea will regenerate in 24 hours. So it's very important you take those contact lenses out and leave them out for a full 24 hours on a regular basis so that cornea gets back to full shape. So there are contact lenses that you could sleep in, but to this date, so far, there is no lens that I would recommend you wear like that on a regular basis. Now, if you have you work long shifts or you're going out to a party and you occasionally do it here and there, fine, they are, but no matter how good that contact lens is, not as much oxygen's getting to your cornea as would without it.
Yeah.
So you want to you got to keep your cornea in good shape, particularly now, and you would do that by not overwearing your contacts.
I'll be the first to tell you, as someone that when I was younger took advantage of it, right? So, and that's what most contact users are. It's like driving a car, right? Yep. You're higher risk when you're younger because you think you're invincible, and then something happens.
Average contact lens wearer doesn't have a problem for 7.5 years, because what happens during that 7.5 years, you get less and less compliant and think it doesn't matter. So you get more lazy not washing your hands.
And that's probably about right. I would say I was probably 22, 23, so probably about 7 years into it. And Christina, I used to have the month contacts that you could keep in your eye for a month straight without taking them out. Sleep with them and everything.
Sleep a day night.
I would keep the contact in my eye for 4 months without changing them. You're supposed to throw them out. I got to the point where when I would blink, I was noticing I would blink and my contact would actually go with my eye. And then would drop down. My eyelids started to form bumps on them that were grabbing my contact. And then the other thing is, when your eye doesn't breathe, your blood vessels have to bring oxygen. So I started having blood vessels grow in my eye to my pupil.
Right.
Wow.
And basically, the body is like, oh shit.
It was like attaching to it and it forms its own blood supply.
Right. And they say once a blood vessel reaches your pupil, I think that's when you're at risk.
That doesn't go away sometimes.
Right. Mine has luckily they pulled back.
Right.
So about 10 years ago, my doctor said, okay, you have bad vision. But you can make it so you could go blind. Do you want to go blind, or do you want to respect your eyes enough? Right. And they said, you need to switch to dailies. And the best decision I did was switch to dailies. Yeah, it's a pain because you're constantly, every day I put new contacts in.
Dailies are the best.
But my problems with my eyes went away. My blood vessels pulled back. If you look at my eye, there's still some vessels in there.
The beautiful part about daily contact lenses is I'm not relying on you to do anything.
Right. I don't have to wash them, clean them.
I don't need the patient to be compliant with anything. You know, I'm not counting on
except actually changing them, because I'm sure there are daily users that just keep
but even those, if you try to use it, maybe you'll get a second day. You probably won't even make it a second day comfortable.
Because they start to drive you crazy if they're in too long.
The same thing with your 2-week or your monthly lenses. You try to wear them over 2 weeks, you make it a few days, but they start annoying you.
Right. Oh yeah. So I'll tell you the worst thing I ever did to my eye is about 2006, so 14 years ago. I'm blind.
Gotta go.
What? Moss has to go? Oh, we're ending this anyway, but I'm telling Chris my story. Moss.
Good talking to you, Moss.
Chris, great seeing you. I'm getting phone calls, text messages. I gotta jump. I want to
hey, make some money.
So
just before we go, 1 second, Chris, thank you so much. There will be I spoke to my guest tomorrow. He needs to reschedule. So out of respect for your family, we're gonna forego
awesome. Thank you, Moss.
All righty.
Talk to you later. Right. So we'll end on this note. I'll tell you the worst thing I ever did my eye, but I almost had no choice. So I lived in Arizona. At that point I was wearing monthlies. And I was about 50 miles from my house. You know how blind I am. I was pumping gas and I blinked. And you know how sometimes you get dust and like the contact will actually come out, especially when you're wearing contacts more than you should be to begin with. They work. I blinked and my contact came out and fell onto the floor of the gas station.
Oh my.
And I looked down, I'm 50 miles. I can't drive now. Like, how do I drive? So I picked up the contact, went into the bath. I didn't have solution with me. Went into the bathroom, ran water under it, tried to rub it as much as possible, which water you're not supposed to use on a contact.
Yeah, right.
It's like, and basically went, please, I have no other choice. I can't drive with my one eye closed, and I can't keep my hand covered because I drive stick, so I need one hand on the stick shift. I had to put in my eye. Oh my God, my eye burned so much.
Yeah.
But what am I gonna do? I'm blind.
Always carry your glasses. Always carry your solution.
Yeah, I know. I'm still.
You
know what? I don't carry my glasses with me, but like if you look at my work laptop bag, I have 10 pairs of contacts in there at all times.
Right.
Like,
you should make yourself a $49 pair of glasses and put it in your glove compartment just for that reason.
I probably should. We'll I haven't. Yeah. So that's the one thing after this, and I could come in. I definitely my eyeglass prescription hasn't probably been renewed in 7 years, and probably I
should probably go in for my eyes too.
I only use it at night, so like I'm less caring of it.
Right.
But it's time for a pair of glasses, and probably like you said, a couple of like in my work truck or something, because you never.
Especially like a scratch cornea or something. Doesn't matter if you have an extra pair of contacts with you.
You can't throw it in, yeah.
Right. You know, you put it in, all it'll do is irritate and hurt you.
Yeah.
Right.
So contacts. You really can only think of contact lenses as an addition to glasses and not a replacement for glasses.
Right.
There's too many conditions where contacts just won't work. Even about 10 years ago, there was a terrible virus going around. Not virus, a parasite in people's eyes. And luckily, in New York, we saw no cases, but that's because we're a fairly strict strict state. There's other states where you can buy your contact lenses in Walmart or Walgreens with no prescription, nothing. Just go pick them off the shelf, like you would anything else. And that's people get themselves into trouble after, they buy them like that. They were never even taught how to properly care for them.
So there's really states you could just go buy. Contact lenses like off the shelf.
Want to hear something crazy? 1-800-contact lenses. If you fill that out saying that you were examined in the last year at my office,
they'll send it to you?
Well, they send a request to me to verify that. If I don't respond in 24 hours, they could assume what you said is correct and mail it to you.
Oh,
it's insane. When my wife was in nursing school, she had to pick 2 subjects to do a report on unaddressed medical issues in America. So she did it on mail order contact lenses and lawn fertilizer. Lawn fertilizer, lawn fertilizer, 100% of Americans will test to have lawn fertilizer in their blood system. I can tell you all about that. And then mail order contact lenses. We're in New York State, which is fairly strict, but we ordered all sorts of specialty contact lenses that no way should you be getting without a doctor. Lenses, not just contact lenses. Contact lenses for very specific medical purposes, and they all came. These companies incorporate in states that have no regulations. They're not supposed to mail to a New York address, but the DA in New York is going after someone mailing a illegal contact lens after someone in Idaho, like a hole in the head.
They don't, right? But it's up to the people, right? Like I want to do it the right way. It's my eyes. I only have one.
Right. It comes. Same thing I said before. You have to have a libertarian attitude. You don't care if I care. You care.
Right. Yeah. And really, I care because that's it. If you lose your vision, that's it. Right. I couldn't imagine it. Like vision. So you got to respect it. And unfortunately,
but if you want to go on that IPL live, give me more information.
But I definitely had to learn it as I was going. When I was younger, I was invincible. I was like, I could wear contact.
Everyone.
All right.
We're in.
It was fun.
Thank you so much. It was fun. Thank you for coming on. We'll be in touch. Williams Eye Works, and then I also had the run to support our hero. So in the comments, we have that. And thank you, Chris. And
my pleasure.
We will be skipping our show tomorrow, everybody, in honor of Nicole's grandmother and my grandmother, Honey, Adeline Tefano. So we will be skipping tomorrow's episode. I am going to be off on Monday because it is Memorial Day. So we will be back Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. with Breakfast at Blooming.